Developing story, police expanding the nationwide manhunt, the massive search for two convicted killers who appear to have devised a cunning way to walk out of prison. And it raises the possibility that other convicts have done the same thing. ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the very latest at this hour.
For the families of the men killed by two released murderers, fear and outrage.
Concerned for my own safety, yes I am, because he know where I live.
It's very scary, because if he don't come after my family, it's possibly he'll kill someone else.
Florida authorities only realized the men had escaped after corrections officials did a courtesy call to victim families to tell them the men had been released.
Offender listed below has been released.
A frustrated family member called authorities asking why convicted killers serving life were suddenly free.
He saw the paper and everything. He was just dumbfounded.
Joseph Jenkins and Charles Walker walked out of prison weeks ago after someone created a fake court order. The documents looked authentic, proper letterhead, seemingly legitimate signatures from prosecutors, even the chief judge.
They cut and paste my signature and affixed it to the order.
Judge Belvin Perry, who oversaw the Casey Anthony murder case, was a victim.
They had to have outside help because in one of those documents, it was actually filed here in the courthouse.
The attorney for Joseph Jenkins says his client isn't smart enough.
He walked into a home invasion robbery with a ski mask bundled up, and when they called it out by name, he then pulled the mask down.
Walker and Jenkins apparently thought they got away scot-free. They were brazen enough to register with the state as felons only days after their release. Inmates have been using phony documents to get out of prison for years, but there's some concern the tactic is becoming more popular with inmates. Last spring, authorities caught another Florida inmate attempting the same scam. And Jenkins tried the tactic in 2011, but failed. Why Florida officials were not more on high alert after those brazen attempts is an open question.
It's certainly frustrating to me as a law enforcement officer. These individuals have murdered individuals in this community, and so we want to bring them back to justice.
They're embarrassed. The inmates walk right past the barbed wire and fences, right out the front door. No questions asked, Diane.
All right, Pierre Thomas, thank you. And now I want to turn to ABC's chief legal analyst, Nightline co-anchor Dan Abrams. So, Dan, how sophisticated was this?
Very. For them to get the seal and the signatures, and maybe most important, to get it to the right person to get this process moving forward, was a very premeditated and well thought out plan.
But you pointed out that they tend to have a lot of time to think about these things.
That's right.
Prison.
You know, look, prisoners have a lot of time. They haven't necessarily linked it to these prisoners. It would seem that they were connected to the plan, but it allows them to take the time to create a sophisticated plan.
And how many felons escape every year?
Approximately 1,000. That number way down from 20 years ago. But the tactics tend to be more old school, meaning stolen vans or cutting and digging, overpowering guards. Those still tend to be the most used methods.
And how often do they get caught?
Almost all the time. The vast majority of cases, and most of the time very close to the prison.